Good morning, children. Welcome to our celebration assembly. We're going to be continuing our theme of caring for the world and the environment. And I know lots of you have been doing lots of work around this, particularly in your home learning. I've had 3 pieces of home learning brought to me today that I'm really proud of. So year 4, Josh has done this beautiful piece. And you can just see how it's a proper year 4 work. So we've got some writing, we've got some labelling, we've got some artwork as well, and some photographs. And I've had this one here from Emma in year 3, looking at life cycles here, looking at the life cycle of a caterpillar and a butterfly, and done some beautiful writing on that. And then I've got some more information about bees here from Rosa in year 4. So she's got some facts and some pictures of bees, some really great science work. So we're all thinking very hard about looking after the environment. And today I want to think about how we look after the seaside. I wonder when was the last time you went to the seaside? And I wonder what your favourite animals in the sea might be. How many different animals you can think of that live in the sea. We read in Genesis in the Bible that the seas were created on the 3rd day, and on the 5th day God created the animals that live in the sea. And Christians believe that the earth was made by God and that it belongs to God, and that we're here to be responsible for the earth and to look after it. So on the 6th day God created human beings like you and me to look after and to care for his creation. And that includes the oceans. I want you to have a little think now, and maybe just pause this video. Have a little think of things that you think you can do to help to look after the seas and the oceans and the seaside. And when you've done that, you can play the video again and watch some of the suggestions on the next little video clip on how you might be able to look after the oceans.
When our parents were still very young, plastic became very popular. And it still is. Plastic is strong and light, and because it's so cheap, you can just throw it away. But hey, problem is, there is no away. Plastic doesn't break down, it only breaks up into small pieces. Almost every piece of plastic ever made is still on the planet. Most plastic waste comes from product packaging and single-use plastics, but also toothpaste and cosmetics contain microplastics. Every year, 8 million tons of plastic end up in the oceans. Plastic has become like a dangerous disease. These nurdles washed ashore on Hong Kong's beaches after a cargo container tipped during a typhoon. Plastic pieces look exactly like small eggs. No wonder sea animals eat them. This whale swallowed plastic. It's dying. This shearwater is dying. Look at what it has got in its stomach. Scientists think 90% of all seabirds have swallowed plastic. Many fish have swallowed plastic. We eat fish, so the harmful chemicals from the plastic can enter our bodies too. What can we do to put a stop to this ocean of plastic? What can you do to stop marine animals from dying from a plastic addiction? The first thing to do is to start using less plastic, because if we use less, plastic producers will make less. Do we really need to buy apples in a plastic bag? Do you really need that plastic straw with your soft drink? Secondly, plastic can be recycled. It's all about creating a circular economy. Plastic is processed and newborn nurdles are turned into new plastic products. The point is, plastic is indestructible, so it should not be disposable. Things like these can make the difference between helping the planet or hurting the planet. The ocean isn't ours alone. It's the home of many other species, and our plastic pollution is hurting them. Sorry, seabirds. Sorry, sea turtles and all marine animals, for putting plastic into your home. Now that you know the problem, you can help make a difference. Change is possible. It starts with us.
I hope that's given you some ideas. And I'm going to read you a story now. And my story today is from a book that I bought over the Easter holiday called Somebody Swallowed Stanley. And it's all about looking after our seas. It goes like this. Here's Stanley. You see those jellyfish around as well. Stanley swept into the sea with a splash and a splish. Perhaps he's one of us, thought the other jellyfish. But his stripes were too straight and his tentacles too few. He just floated in the sea, not sure what to do. You see, Stanley was no ordinary jellyfish. You see that? Then something terrible happened. Somebody swallowed Stanley, but who could it be? Her tongue was rough as barnacles, her mouth vast as a cave. As she hummed her low song, Stanley tried to be brave. So who had swallowed Stanley? The creature stopped singing as Stanley slid down her slimy throat. She coughed and she spluttered, and then whoosh! With a rush and a rumble, steam burst from her spout. A whale had swallowed Stanley, but now he was out. Stanley stopped with a splash back into the sea, where he bobbed along gently, calm and carefree, until something terrible happened. Somebody swallowed Stanley, but who could it be? With a sharp yellow beak and a small beady eye, the creature flapped its wings and rose up into the sky. But who had swallowed Stanley? He pecked and then snapped and he nipped, but Stanley wouldn't go down. More creatures flew over, first 2 and then 3. In all the flapping and squawking, they let Stanley be. A seagull had swallowed Stanley, but now he was free. Poor old Stanley was ripped up, scruffy and torn, and he sank down some more. But then something terrible happened before he reached the sea floor. Somebody swallowed Stanley again, but who could it be? Her paddle-shaped flippers skimmed the seabed. She had beautiful shell and a small wrinkly head. So who had swallowed Stanley? She gasped and she spluttered, then started to choke, But Stanley was stuck without much he could do. A turtle had swallowed Stanley. The creature was scared and swam quickly to shore, with Stanley stuck in her throat. She couldn't breathe any more. The turtle closed her eyes and lay down in the sand, but then Stanley heard footsteps. Help was at hand. A kind boy on the beach came and tugged Stanley free. But then Stanley heard, "Plastic bags don't belong in the ocean blue. Creatures think you're a jellyfish and swallow you." Now with a rope and a branch, he'd made something new. A kite! Flying in the air, Stanley soared to and fro, safe from the sea and all the creatures below. What a great use of Stanley, who became from a plastic bag to a kite. I love that book. Somebody swallowed Stanley. Now I just want you to close your eyes for me, and I'm going to say a prayer. Dear God, thank you for the beautiful world in which we live. Thank you for the amazing variety of animals and plants. Thank you for the sea and the beaches. Please help us to think carefully about our responsibility in the world. Please help us to care for the environment, and please help us to think carefully before we act. Amen. So now it's time for our awards. So we'll start with our Growth Mindset Awards. In Class DB, it goes to Pearl for listening to instructions during PE and using them to apply her skills to cricket. Well done, Pearl. In Class RC, it's Callie this week for showing a fantastic growth mindset and a great attitude towards her maths work, working really, really well, Callie, at solving problems as part of a group. It's been great how you've encouraged your partner and your team members to persevere with tricky questions and problems. You're setting a great example to everybody. Well done, Callie. In Class LF this week, it goes to Harry. Harry's been trying really hard in class this week. He's completing extra revision work at home to help to grow his confidence in different subjects, showing perseverance in maths when measuring and drawing shapes using a protractor. Well done, Harry. Class PO, it's Gabriella this week. She's been inspiring other people in her English. She's learnt to read the illustrations carefully to give more depth about the story and the character. As a result, her efforts to engage in discussion and to share her ideas have been really wonderful. Well done, Gabriella. In Class EW this week, it goes to Artie for working really hard and persevering with his reading, starting to show more confidence during the daily Read Write Ink sessions. And all the adults in Class Artie are really proud of you. Class KS, it's this week Max for trying really hard in lessons and contributing well to discussions. Max, you've shown perseverance in your spellings and fractions, and you've taken risks in your maths work, and you've enjoyed learning from your mistakes. So well done, Max. Keep it up. In Class LB, it goes to George. George, you've made great efforts this week to improve your reading and your spelling. You're always ready to learn in spelling work. You set a good example for the rest of the class. You accept help. You use feedback to improve, and great comprehension strategies. So well done to you, George. In Class JA this week, it goes to Amber. Amber has a wonderful attitude to her learning. She's taken on board new challenges. She's shown great perseverance. She keeps on going with her phonics, and she really understands the idea of, I can't do it yet. So she doesn't say I can't do it without saying yet afterwards. So well done, Amber. Really proud of you. And I just want to mention an additional person that I've chosen for a Growth Mindset Award because I think Alfie deserves one. So Alfie up in class, do you know what? I can't even remember what class you're in, Alfie. But this was a fantastic piece of work. We've been talking all about the oceans today, and Alfie's written a book called The Secrets of the Deep. So a big well done, Alfie. It's great. It's got lots of pages in it. Okay, and it's got lots of some great description, and it's just a really, really good story. So if you want to have a read of that this week, have a chat with Alfie. I want to say well done to you, Alfie, and I want to give you a Growth Mindset Award for that as well. 3Cs Award this week. This goes to somebody who I've noticed for a long time, actually, who's just such a kind, caring, all-round, courteous and considerate member of our school. A boy who is really popular with people, popular with his friends, popular with other children in the school, popular with staff. And the reason he's so popular is because he really does embody those 3Cs. And he's just a really nice boy to be around. So to Jack in class EW, you are this week's 3Cs award winner. And I'll make sure you get your badge today. One birthday this week, just the one. And so next Thursday, it's Archie's birthday. So happy birthday, Archie. Have a really, really lovely birthday.